Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Bowling League's Dungeon Bowl. We are in week number 6. We've got a really fun matchup tonight. We might have 2 games. We'll see how that shakes out tonight. But we're gonna get started with Ash versus Bash. Tonight we got World of Cheese versus the Rockettes. James Like Snacks versus Real Human. We've got Pro Elves versus Dwarfs. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. How's it going, BB Nut? Let's take a look at the standings real quick before we check out these 2 teams tonight. In Division A, currently in first place is Odin at Snuffle. That's a Norse team coached by Clypheus. They are 4-1-1. They are followed by the Gutterballs after their draw this week. They're in second place. El Nubarino's Orc team. They are 3-3-0. And the NC Snakes in third. Moob's Dark Elf team. They are 3-2-1. Okay. That's it. That's the only division. There you go. Let's try this again. In Division B, currently in first place is the Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut. They're a Nurgle team. They're 4-0-1, and they are followed by the Arlington Nationals. B-Dog's Undead team in second place. They're 3-1-2. With the Goodest Boys Strike Back in third, that's Old Gamer Mike's Necromantic Horror team. They are 3-0-2. And over in Division C, that's where we are tonight. And in first place is Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire. They're a Lizard team. They are 5-1-0 in this competition. They're followed by a duo of Necro teams. In second place is Festoon's Mammal Nightmare. They're 4-1-1. And the Disco Mancers, coached by Ian, they're in third. They're 4-0-1. Keith the Bix, welcome to the stream. Tonight's home team will be the World of Cheese. Again, I always see this and I'm like, oh, it's a Skaven team. It's not. This is a Pro Elf team, an Elven Union team. 12 on the roster. All will be starting this evening. That's going to bring their TV to 1,375,000 gold. They have 2 blitzers, a thrower, all 4 catchers, and a bunch of linemen to round out the roster. 1 apothecary, 3 dedicated fans, and 3 rerolls. They're going to be up against the very slow, the very bashy, the Rockettes, a Dwarfen team. 12 on the roster here as well. Again, all of these players will be starting tonight, and that's going to bring their TV to 1,240,000 gold. That's 135,000 gold in petty cash going to the Rockettes tonight. Not a whole lot they could do with that. We'll talk about how they might spend that in just a few moments here. They have 2 Troll Slayers on the roster, 2 Runners, 2 Blitzers, and a bunch of Linos. 1 Apothecary, 2 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How are these 2 teams going to play? This is classic Blood Bowl. We've got a very fast, very agile team in the World of Cheese. Lots of speed on this roster. These catchers are an MA of 8, the Blitzers an MA of 7. Lots of dodge on this roster as well. These catchers are so Pro Elves are the passing elves, right? They have these catchers that have nerves of steel with an edge of 2. They are catching that ball in a 2+ all the time. You have a thrower on the roster as well. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the thrower doesn't have nerves of steel, but it is a thrower with a 2+. Does have the free reroll with pass as well. Has a couple of blitzers who are sidestepping blodgers. 1 has tackle. Very fast, very agile team, but very brittle being elves. They have 8+ across the board for armor, save for the 2 blitzers who are a standard AV of 9+. And that means what this team wants to do is they want to leverage that speed and agility to get away from the dwarves. They want to dart past these dwarves on offense, on defense. They just want to stay in front of the dwarves. They want to hold these dwarves to a blitz a turn. If they can do that, they can win pretty easily tonight in this matchup. These dwarves are very, very slow. And so but they're very, very bashy, and they have a whole bunch of tackle, which can negate that dodge skill. In fact, will negate that dodge skill on that Pro Elf team. If the Rockettes can get the marks that they want, then they're going to come out on top tonight, right? Lots of block. Almost every player on this roster has block save for the number 6 runner. They have a couple of Troll Slayers. That's Frenzy, one of which has Mighty Blow, has guard on a number of linemen, tackle on all the linemen, right? The rookie linemen come with the tackle skill. This is a team that wants to stay bunched up, wants to punch you in the face. If they're allowed to do so, they're going to win. They're going to win because they're just going to start removing elves. There's going to be no more elves left on the pitch to play, and the dwarves are going to win this one. Their big weakness, of course, is their speed. Their fastest player on the team are these runners at an MA of just 6. They don't have a lot of speed to leverage. That means because they want to stay grouped up and bash, On offense, they tend to move as fast as their slowest player on the cage, and that's going to be these linemen. They're going to be moving about 4 spaces a turn maximum, unless they really need to go for it with one of these runners. And that means that you have lots of speed and you have lots of options. And as the speedier team, you can control the momentum. You just don't want to give up those blocks. You really want to hold them to a blitz a turn so that they can only hit you with that block frenzy mighty bow player once a turn. If you give them lots of blocks when you're AV8 and they can turn off your skills the way tackle can, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. So the Elven team wants to stay away. On defense, so long as they can stay in front of that dwarven cage, they'll be good. They want to hold that cage to just 1 space a turn so that the dwarves just won't have enough time to get into the end zone. If you can do that, then the dwarves eventually, inevitably, have to take some risks, right? They need to start moving the ball a little bit quicker as time runs out on the clock. And in order to do that, they're going to put themselves in a position where maybe they don't want to be, a little bit of a suboptimal position. That's your chance to strike and perhaps recover that ball, or maybe even just shut down that run. Stay in front of them on defense as the elf team, get behind them on offense. If the elf team is on defense to start tonight, which I think they might be if they win the coin toss, just to guarantee they have all 11 on the pitch, then when they go on offense in the second half of this game, I think they're going to run away. You're going to see them at center pitch. They're going to have the ball. They're going to pull off the line and play toward or near their end zone. By doing that, that's a way for them to stall without losing players. Typically, you'll see a team stall near the opposing end zone, but that means you're inviting lots of hits along the way. You're inviting lots of hits for each one of those turns as the opposing team starts to move towards you, right? They're already halfway there, and if you end up fighting your way to the other half of the pitch, you're going to keep fighting turn after turn and lose players. This way, if they retreat off the line first and play near their half of the pitch, these slow dwarves are going to have to take a turn or 2 or 3 to catch up, and that's the way they can stall without taking any hits. Then they can engage on their half of the pitch. They have the speed, they have the agility to get past these dwarves. Those 2 runners on defense for this dwarven team are absolutely going to be safeties to try to stop any breakaway elf, and it's really hard to prevent these elves from breaking away. Lots of speed and agility means it's just a thing they do. But that's the game plan for tonight. Smash and bash for the dwarves, run away and dodge away for these elves. Whichever team can be more effectual in that strategy, I think is going to win tonight. 135,000 gold and petty cash going to the Rockettes tonight. Not a whole lot they can do with that. They could pick up a Puggy Bacon Breath, but honestly, I have never seen the value in Puggy ever. So I don't think it's worth it. Not quite enough for a wizard. They could pick up a bribe. They could pick up an extra reroll. There's some other inducements they could pick up. We'll see what the Rockettes want to do with it. I think for my money, as the Dwarven team, I might need to go in on the bribe, right? I might go in on the bribe and just lean into the bashing game and say, you know what? I'm going to punch you in the face and then I'm going to step on your face. That's what I'm going to do. That's my game plan. But we'll see what the Rockettes decide to do here in just a few minutes. We'll get this game underway. Malik, Nurgles, Rot, Festoon, welcome all to the stream. Aridus, welcome to the stream as well. We might have a second game tonight. I'm not sure. It's going to depend on how long this game goes. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Why? What is happening? There we go. But if this game runs a little quick, we'll probably go into that second game, and then I'll have to turn the mic off for a bit. But we'll see. Clear skies for this game this evening. I love this pitch, man. I love the water in the background. Oh, we gotta turn off blue versus red. BB Nut says, pitching an idea for next year. We go full NFL style with 2 conferences, 8 divisions, and interconference games, a draft for team choices. That seems like we would need a whole lot of teams, doesn't it? But I'm open to any suggestions. We've got a lot to talk about in between after this season. BB Nut says, have you seen my game on Thursday is off? I did. Thanks for reminding me. I'll update it after this game tonight. Looks like I was off by 10K. It's going to be 145,000 gold. Still not a whole lot you can do with that. Not quite A wizard, you need 150 for a wizard. 145k. Oh, there's Cindy. Of course there's Cindy. 145 also brings Helmet Wolf into the equation. So those are two solid options. If Cindy won't be able to get the bribe to keep Cindy on the pitch for more than a single drive. Actually, it's for either of them. They're both secret weapons. Cindy, of course, a very inexpensive bombardier. Helmet Wolf, a chainsaw player. Malik says, can you run that complex of a league? I can run anything. He is going to go for Puggy. I've never... All right, you know what? I'm going to learn tonight what the value of Puggy Bacon Breath is. Puggy Bacon Breath taken to the pitch. The halfling star player. Move says run anything, even a marathon. All right, maybe I can't run anything. Rockettes win the coin toss. They're going to choose to be on offense first. I think the defense is fine with this. World Cheese in the yellow. Naturally, the Rockettes in pink. Yeah, in all honesty, I'm open to all sorts of suggestions. We've got lots of things to discuss already, and anything that makes the league more fun, more inviting, more competitive, we're certainly all ears. Box formation currently for the defense. 3 on the line. They're not going to put any more than 3 on the line since the dwarves are going to get to punch first. BB Nut says the dwarves took Puggy. They did indeed. So Puggy Bacon Breath, a halfling star player, MA of 5. Halflings tend to be slow. Strength of 3. Has block and dodge. Also has nerves of steel. Also has this once per game ability where he can re-roll any single die roll. Malik says, do it like hockey where the regular season eliminates like 3 teams. I don't know what that means. But I also don't follow hockey. So 9 on the line here for the offense currently. Both runners back to receive, as is natural for the team. One of the Troll Slayers off the pitch. So a Troll Slayer not starting. Instead, Puggy Bacon Breath is going to be on the pitch. 80% of the teams make postseason. Really? Why did they do that? 4 players get to activate, and they get to move 1 space here on the quick snap. Can't be marked, so these 5 linemen have to stay put. Malik says money. All right, fair enough. Crikey, welcome to the stream. Crikey says it's 50%. That's still a lot. Ball kick to the 10-yard line. Turn 1 underway here for the Rockettes. Real Human, which is there's these teams that are really tough for me to pronounce. Real Human, I find hard to pronounce, and Duck Utterballs. I really want to say the. Armor break on the first block of the game. That's a removal. Here we go. This is what we were talking about. 1-man player advantage now for the Rockettes. First block gets rid of a lineman. Second block's a knockdown, no armor break. BB Nut says, I'll teach you all you need to know about hockey. Just repeat this. The Colorado Avalanche are a wagon. The Red Wings are evil assholes. All right. BB Nut says, to be fair, the NFL is 14 out of 32. It's not far off from 50%. I didn't know that either. Two-die blitz, double pals here against Gruyere, the number 10 lineman. And now 2-die against Gorgonzola, the rookie lineman. Over on the left side of the defensive line here. Gets a knockdown out of this. Puggy bacon breath on the block. Good recovery here from Dolomite. So now the Dwarves have picked the ball up off the ground. Can be a little difficult when you don't have a high agility player. That sure hand skill really is really helpful when you've got edge 3+, or dare I say even 4+. Not going to be too much of a problem going forward though in the new rules with the secure the ball action. Allows most players in the game to pick up the ball on a 2+, so long as they end their activation after doing so. Turn 1 now for the World of Cheese. World of Cheese in the box formation, screening out the Dwarves. Really, they just need to stay in front of them. So long as they can do that, they'll be pretty solid. They don't even really have to worry about the Dwarves getting around them. Let's say your defense is right here. You've got center pitch, and the Dwarves say, okay, I'm going to go right. Who cares? You just pull these players to the right as well. You've got the speed to do so. You don't really have to worry about the Dwarves getting around you. So really the game plan, in my opinion, is to not get hit. Not get hit and stay in front of that cage. If you can hold them to just one space of movement per turn, you're doing your job. And I think I think that's a successful defense against a Dwarven team. As he says, as he's drawing again. I was. 30 seconds left on the clock here for World of Cheese. No real action yet. Gonna go for the blitz. Failed the 2+ dodge. They use a reroll. Wow! Snake Eyes on the dodge. Could not get a free reroll out of it due to the tackle skill. Tackle negates dodge. The Oppo is going to be spent on this turn and saves Monterey Jack. So he'll go to the reserve box. That's right, 100% of the time. Failed the 2+ dodge, spent a reroll, failed it again. And that's going to be a turnover. And a removal. 2-man player advantage now for the Rockettes. Moob said, was he blitzing the ball there? I am not sure, but it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like it. He would have needed another big-time dodge out of that. Actually, no, he wouldn't have. And now the Rockettes are going to easily move this ball across the line of scrimmage to the opposing 8-yard line. 4-point cage set up. And now they've got their offense going. They're in perfect position here. They have their choice of directions to move. Now they're going to take their marks to set up their blocks. Block coming up on Gruyere here, as well as a block on Rockford. 2-die blitz over on the left side by Skarn. This will be a dodge push. Frenzy follow-up coming up with the Troll Slayer. Another 2-die here. This will be a both standing result unless he wants to take the push. Yeah, I think he takes the both standing here. Good call. Malik says, time to beat down some elves. Not with double pushes, you're not. Got to push here in the right wide zone. Another block coming up, 2-die. That's another push. Final block here gets the knockdown on Rockford. Rockford, the catcher, does not have the dodge skill. No armor break. And that'll be the turn. Turn 2 now for the world of cheese. Nuffle giveth, Nuffle taketh away. But in what order? it's a 50-50 chance. There's this old video game series called Legacy of Kain. I bought the first game when it came out on a whim, and I was a kid back then, so I didn't have a whole lot of money. And it was marvelous, and that started a series. I think it really gained popularity with a game called Soul Reaver. Anyway, there's 5 games in the series. You can play them all on the PS5. I started replaying the first one, and it is a masterpiece. I love it so much. Two-die blitz against Puggy Bacon Breath. Gets the knockdown thanks to tackle. Blue on the blitz. Breaks armor. Puggy is out of the game. So I still don't know what Puggy Bacon Breath does. That's right. We'll never know. We'll never know what he does. One-man player advantage for the Dwarves now. "12 seconds to go in turn number 2 for the world of cheese." Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what the value of Puggy is. Failed dodge again. Can't use that dodge skill when you're marked by a tackle player. Tackle turns that skill off. It negates the dodge skill. Doesn't spend a reroll this time. I think that was wise. Turn 3, back to the Rockettes. The Rockettes have some blocks to take. It's exactly what they want. He says, "I'm sure he's worth every penny." Yeah, I find Puggy a confusing star player. Every time I look at Puggy, I'm like, what does he do? Like, what's his thing? Two-die against Blue, the Blitzer gets a push out of this. Needed a pal, as Blue is a blodger. Sidestepping blodger, so he can remain marking the ball carrier if he wants, but I don't think he wants to here. I think he wants to get away from these dwarves so that they can't punch him again. Yeah, I think that's a good call. BB Nuts says Puggy's thing is he's Griff from Temu. Shop like a millionaire. Got the pal here on Rockford. And another removal. Yep. Exactly what we talked about in the pregame here. So now a 2-man player advantage for the Dwarven team. They've removed 3. Griff from Temu. You go to buy it, they have this beautiful picture of Griff Oberwald, and you're like, huh? $6, huh? How bad could it be? You finally get Griff in the mail. It's a halfling named Puggy Bacon Breath. Two-die blitz will be a wrestle down here for the blitzer. Wrestle does not end in a turnover, but that will be the end of the turn regardless. Turn 3 now for the world of cheese. I guess. BB Nut says they both dodge well. Is that worth 120K though? Had my annual physical today. Despite my protestation, the doctor continues to say I'm perfectly fine. Although it's nice in her new office or whatever, they do the blood work right there, which is great. It's so convenient. The nurse that was taking the vials of blood for the blood tests, I was watching like the vials fill up. I was like, oh man, that's really fast. And she was like, yeah, and it makes a sound like it's beer on tap. I don't want my I don't want to imagine my blood like that. 8 seconds ago now for the world of cheese, and that'll be the turn as they dodge away. Continuing to keep pressure on this cage by dodging backwards here. Still have a mark on the corner. I think going in on the cage is problematic when your team's brittle like this. Despite having a lot of blodgers, the reason being that one of those two crucial skills can be negated by tackle, and then if you get knocked down, AV8's going to break armor. She clearly plays vampires. Dude, I stand up blitz against number 6 who I could never pronounce correctly. Another removal, yep. Yep, this is how it goes. 3-man player advantage now for the Rockettes. Yeah, my preferred strategy here on defense, again, is to just hold, stay right in front of them, hold them to a space a turn, and hold them to a blitz a turn. Here on turn 4, they would have gotten, the ball would have remained, say, here. And then they'd need 4 more turns. They'd get to the second line, and at some point in this process, they'd have to start taking some chances. But eating these blocks, when you're a fragile team, yeah, there's another armor break. Chevra, thank you. Chevra. You think I'd remember that? I mean, that's pretty much the way it's spelled, right? Chevra. If you're French. I celebrated another successful annual physical exam with eating far too much stir fry today. Oh, you say everything's fine? Let's see if I can fix that. Stand up uphill blitz on the runner is going to be a push. Debating whether to spend the reroll here. I think you count your blessings. C says, is there such a thing as too much stir fry? Yes. Oh, wow. Followed up here on this uphill blitz. Oh, blue has no fear. Now marked by tackle pieces staring down a 3-die block. Oh, that's fair, Malik. Yeah, could have just not realized they had to pick dice. Second quarter begins. The Rockettes with the ball, the opposing 6-yard line. Two-die block against Provolone is going to be a push. That's fine. Moob says if he took that 2-die block with the leader first, he could have had a 1-die on the ball instead of an uphill. Fair enough. So taking the 2-die block here, not clearing the assist, instead taking the 2-die block on blue, got the POW out of it. Now the ball carrier is cleared. Now taking the 2-die on Cheddar, gets a POW. Cheddar, the thrower. 8+ is going to break armor on this injured thrower. No armor break, rolled a 4. Might move this ball out to the right here shortly. Has a lane up here through this runner. We can set up the ball really anywhere here on the right. Of course, would have to move the runner first. Here's the blitz on Asiago. Breaks armor. I'm sorry, gets the knockdown, does not break armor. Looks to be moving the ball to the 14. No, going to move the ball to the 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll do it. Ball now on the opposing 18-yard line. Very well done here by Real Human. Got this trilogy of board games from Reiner Knizia that I want to play that are all 3 games are related to like an alien invasion. They're all different types of games. I can't remember what the types of games are, but I know like the third one's like a galactic war game. But like the first game is like discovering the aliens. The second game is the aliens sort of surreptitiously taking over the Earth, and the third game is then the aliens expanding from Earth to conquer more planets. It looks cool. World of Cheese scattered across the pitch here. They're down a number of players, 4 players to be exact. He scored the end by counting who has the most cheese. I think whoever has the most cheese is in fact the winner. World of Cheese continuing to apply pressure on this cage, trying to stop the dwarves, but really difficult to do if you're taking single marks on the cage. I don't like the dwarves being given the ability to punch back either. That's my purview, I suppose. Another failed dodge here keeps the roll, and that will be a turnover. So 2 blocks to take and a blitz for the Rockettes. They'll stall this out for until turn 8 for sure. Tough to get the 3-die on these catchers. They are strength 3 catchers. Normally 2 assists would give you the 3-die, right? Oh, double skulls here. Spends a reroll. Gets the knockdown. Scarn on the blitz. Fetta's going to be knocked down here as well. Eagle TSI with the sub. Thank you very, very much for your generosity. I appreciate it. Always glad to have you here. Thank you kindly. 21 months. Wow. Thank you very, very much. Ball advances to the 22, keeping the cage intact. Has some players on the bench here. Has one player on the bench, but I might start fouling at this point. World of Cheese with everybody prone, save for Provolone, the number 9 lineman back at the line of scrimmage. Probably sets up for a blitz here and then dodges everybody else to safety. We'll see. Or if they can find a way to collect their players and get a formation back in check here. The big problem they have are these players right here, right? So the big problem they have is trying to get these players connected back together so they can be a single unit that applies pressure to this cage, forcing the ball into the end zone. If they can do that, they'd have a decent amount of time to score themselves. Eagle TSI says, haven't been on in a while, they reset points. What do you mean? Electric Man says, just got home from work, what have I missed? Just some removed elves. I think we've had a couple of removed dwarves as well. Puggy Bacon Breath took to the pitch for 2 turns. C says dodging the safety doesn't sound like a plan given how the dodging's gone so far. Fair enough. And a number of these players have to get, in fact, all of them would have to dodge away from tackle. But so it goes, I say. Armor break on Ankaramite. Sounds like a political pundit. Hard to get these dwarves off the pitch. They're just so resilient. High armor value and thick skulls. Eagle TSI says, my points for cheering and Telestrator are down to less than 100. Do they reset? Are you sure you didn't just lose them on a bet or something? Maybe they do reset. I don't know. Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Dwarves going for the blitz here. Failed the rush. Blitzing Feta. They'll certainly spend the team reroll. Looking for the knockdown on this block, or else they'd have to rush again due to frenzy. And now turn 7 for the World of Cheese. I don't think they can really make anything happen here. I think the name of the game is just keep players safe. They're going to keep trying. They're going to mark the cage. Fair enough. James likes snacks. Going to try to stop this score. Does this mean they're going to try a cheeky blitz on the ball carrier? Is that the plan? It might be. Eagle TSI cheering for the Pro Elf defense. Let's go. Let's see. Oh no. Just gonna take it on the corner here. Gets the knockdown. Would love an armor break here, but doesn't get it. Crikey says cage diving like purple chest. Lots of marks on this cage here, trying to negate any potential assists and forcing dodges if they need to happen. But really, it's just the one mark on the ball carrier. Is marked by a sidestepper though, so needs to get the knockdown here. Oh boy. I would have wanted that blitz of the tackle player. Oh, he still has a tackle player. Not anymore. All right. We'll see what the game plan is. Not going to blitz with the Frenzy Troll Slayer either. What's the blitz plan? Is it going to be with the ball carrier? Oh boy, would need a POW out of this if that's the case. $40 seconds to go here for the Rockettes as they try to figure out how to get this ball into the end zone. Problem is they're marked by this player here. Blue is a sidestepper and a blodger. Without blitzing with the tackle player, that means only the POW. There's a 1 in 6 chance on a single die that this player gets knocked down. Here we go, 2-die blitz. Not good enough here. It'll end up being a dodge push, and now the sidestepper, this is the second part of the equation. He'll stay right in place. Fair enough. The sidestepper could still continue to mark the ball. All right. It's going to be a 3+ dodge now. Failed the dodge, gets a reroll. There it is. Well done by Real Human to get on the board here. The Rockettes take the lead 1-0. Scary, scary touchdown. Very well done. Hey, they've got cheerleaders. Let's go. That's right. Nothing to it. Piece of cake. One turn left in the half, unless, of course, there's a timeout. If there's a timeout, World of Cheese will have an opportunity to get on the board here and tie the ball game. They will be on offense to start the second half of the game. And again, they control the momentum. So even if they start the second half down 0-1, they can decide if they're going to play for the draw or play for the win. Because they can score very, very quickly. And then they're up against a very slow team. A kicker would be very helpful in this situation. They don't have a kicker, but that's fine. They're up against a slow team, and they can just keep that team from scoring and try to get that ball out of their hands. And that's really going to depend on the will of Real Human, right? At that point, 1-1 ball game, does Real Human want to try to win, or do they just want to try to draw the game? If they try to draw the game, it's going to be real tough to get at that ball. But if they want to win, you might have an opportunity to snake that ball away and win yourself. 3 on the line for the defense. Slate, the Troll Slayer. Coquina, the number 6 runner. And Quartzite, the number 1 blitzer. World of Cheese will try to block down these 3 players. They'll try to pass for some SPP. Again, unless they get a timeout. If they get a timeout, they're going to try to score. One-man player advantage for the Dwarves right now. Here's the kick. Very deep kick. And 4 more players again on the quick snap get to move 1 space. So I don't think they're going to be able to score here. They would need 3 pushes off the line in order to make this happen. So what we mean by that when you go for a 1-turn touchdown attempt, right? Let's say this player right here. Does he have one? Right, so this player has an MA of 8 plus 2 for the rushes is 10. There's 13 spaces from the line of scrimmage to the end zone. So they need to get to here in order to have a chance to score. And the way you can do this is by chain blocking your way forward. Wrestle down. I think that's the end of this. I don't see where the other blocks come from. No armor breaks on the blocks. We'll try to pass this ball for some SPP. 1-2. This will be a short pass to Cheddar. Nope. No problem. The long pass to Asiago works out and gets a point of SPP out of it. Well done. And that's the end of the half. Rockettes on the board. World of Cheese has their chance at a proper offense here. We'll get back to KO'd player and it'll be 11v11 on the pitch. Electric Man says 1-turn touchdown attempt gets messed up when people fall down. That's true, but I didn't see, even if it wasn't a wrestle down, I don't know where that last block was going to come from. I could see where 2 would come from. Eagle TSI with the gifted sub. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kindness. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the sub, Spirit Guys. Spirit Gooey. Spirit. I'm going to go with Spirit Guys. Merry Christmas indeed. Thank you very much, Eagle TSI. Wide cups formation here for the Dwarves, screening out the elves. You've got to do it, or else they can get past you very quickly. Spirit Juice. That makes sense. Come on, James like Snacks. You know what he's saying here. Look at this. You know what he's saying. You know how you have to set up the formation. This is what you've got to do. A broken heart. What's wrong with that ball? Oh, no. Oh, no. Ball kick to the 14-yard line. We're going to have Dwarves on the ball here. 6 players get to activate. There will be a blitz. I think the blitz is very likely to be blue over on the right side here. No, taking it on the left side here. 2-die blitz against Monterey Jack's going to be a push. Frenzy follow-up into a skull. Can't spend a reroll because this is not a turn. And that will be the end of the blitz. Iron Cynic, welcome to the stream. Iron Cynic says, I can figure out the 1-turns. I just never get the pushes. Tried to win a tournament a while back with Wood Elves and 3 rerolls and it didn't work out. That's unfortunate. Eagle TSI says, I've only completed 3 1-turns in my career, not the throw teammate type. I've done exactly 1 that is not a throw teammate. And that was before the rules forbade having like MA10. Iron Cynic on the 7-stream streak. Always great to have you here. Two die over on the left side here. It's a both standing result. Another blitz on the left side. Doesn't get anything out of it. Took blitz before recovering the ball. Doesn't look to be retreating. One die on the line of scrimmage. Spends a reroll into a wrestle down. Wow. I would have thought for sure all of these elves were going to retreat. I guess the fact that there's 5 on the line would suggest that's not going to happen. Another one die on the line here. Gets a pal against Essexite. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. And now 2 on Granite. Gets a push. Equal TSI says, I saw a game at the store where orcs playing wood elves for 4 one-turn troll throws in the game. Wow. 4. That's insanity. Enemy orc players still lost 5-4. I don't think I've ever in my life seen a game go that high. Outside of like I saw somebody, I still don't believe it, honestly, but I saw a video a long time ago in Blood Bowl 2 where somebody won against the computer 16-0. But I just don't buy it. Two-die block against Monterey Jack on the left side here. Lots of action in the left wide zone. Gets another push. Stand-up blitz by Scar and gets the knockdown. Feta breaks armor on a 7+, but rolls a 4. I do these automated backups, local backups on like an external hard drive, and something got all messed up with them, and so I wiped out the drive and I've started my backups over again. It's been going for 2.5 days now. Eagle TSI lowering the rush failure rate from 900%, the way Games Workshop and Jervis Johnson intended, down to a measly 99%. Spire says, any dead dwarfs yet? Not yet. World of Cheese in possession on their own 14-yard line. They are going toe-to-toe with these dwarves. And you know what? It's kind of working. Like, they've still got a full roster. How many calories do you think she burns just doing that all game long? Like, never, ever stopping. Two-die against Skarn. Got the pal here, looking for a 9+. Troll Slayers just have a 9+. There's the armor break. Gets a stun. 25 seconds ago for the World of Cheese. Hanging on that ball all the way on their side of the pitch. They're on their own 20-yard line. She eventually turns into a skeleton. You know what? I have never, ever thought about that. But they're the same rigging, aren't they? They're the exact same rigging, aren't they? I've never thought about that. They might even be the same model. Spyro, a 25 stream streak. Thank you very much. Blitz over in the right, in the left wide zone, because everyone loves the left wide zone. Double skulls here, spends a reroll the double pushes. Both teams fighting over this left wide zone. I think that helps the Dwarven team more than the Elf team. I think with Pro Elves in particular, I think threatening the pass would really help their offense here, as it's going to force more Dwarves off the line and weaken the run defense, and then that opens up options for the Elven offense. Right, it's almost like the inverse of American football, right? Like in American football, your average running play might be 5 yards per play. Your average passing play might be 10 yards or something. Let's say 9 yards. And so you would ask yourself, why don't I just always run? Or why don't I just always pass? It's more yardage per play. Well, the problem is boy, why did I start talking about this? I don't know how to describe it. So in game theory, you could write a game in normal form, and just imagine your options in a grid, and there's a payoff, right? So a game mathematically is defined as agents, which are players, within a set of restrictions, which are rules, performing strategies, those are your actions, to maximize their own payoffs. Those are rewards of some, whether that's points or better field position or an advantage of some sort. And so if you boil all that down to these decisions and payoffs, if you pass all the time in American football, then your opponent's going to set up a pass defense, and against a pass defense, maybe your average yardage is now 2 yards a play, right? And so in order to keep your opponent from always setting up that pass defense, you need to run the ball sometimes, so that opens up the passing game, right? You run the ball a little bit, and then they set up against the run, and then you could pass, and now you're getting that high average yardage. Similar thing in Blood Bowl here, but it's kind of reversed, right? If you're a team that can threaten the pass, passing is very risky. You really don't want to pass if you don't have to. But if you've got a passing game, if you've got a somewhat viable passing game, and you threaten that pass, your opponent at some point needs to react to that. And when they react to that, now they're weakening their run defense, and now you have a more effective running game. Turn 11 now for the World of Cheese. Not a whole lot of action so far in this half. A little bit of pressure by these dwarves now. So these dwarves have started to come in towards the ball carrier. I think James Like Snacks is okay with this. This means they might have an opportunity to bust a hole through this defense and take off. Might not be this turn, might be next turn, we'll see. I think as the Dwarven team, I would have kept my runners in the secondary. Like, I would leave somebody back there, because if these elves get past me, I just can't catch them. Electric Man says Tomb Kings are always threatening to pass the ball. Tomb Kings! At least until the new secure the ball action. Might not even pick up the ball. Whoa! Hey! A Kaz on a Dwarf team! Everybody celebrate! Look at that! A dislocated shoulder on the number 6 runner. Apothecary gets spent and saves the day. That's still 2 SPP for the world of cheese. Well done to get rid of a dwarf. BB Nut says secure the ball isn't a massive increase for Tomb Kings. Why is that? Why do you say that? It's a 2+, right? Eridus praying to Nuffle. Fair enough, fair enough. Sure hands definitely changes the equation, for sure. I was thinking solely the 50-50 pickup. And now threatening the pass here over in the left wide zone. Fighting over that left wide zone has now opened up a lane for 2 players to go downfield. We'll see how these dwarves react. Good dodge away on the right side. World of Cheese back on the bonus clock. Yeah, I think we'll see 2 more dodges. There's one. Another 2+ dodge here by Gruyere. No free reroll, but doesn't need it. Well done. Turn 11 now for the Rockettes. So the Rockettes with a couple of players picked off over in the left wide zone. And now a number of players downfield that they've got to react to. We'll see what they decide to do here shortly. Eagle TSI says, my son and his friend are playing right now. They got Pouring Rain, and the famous does Pouring Rain affect... And the famous does Pouring Rain affect the secure the ball pickup? I don't know what that means. Oh, I see. You're saying does the modifier for Pouring Rain affect secure the ball? I don't actually know. I guess this determines how secure the ball is written. You know what? Let me get my rule book and look. When performing a secure the ball action, the player must attempt to pick up the ball. The player attempting to pick up the ball as part of the secure the ball action does not make an agility test. Instead, they roll a d6, and on 2+, they will automatically pick up the ball, and their activation immediately ends. So I would read that as it doesn't affect the ball pickup. Right? So let's check out the weather effects, which of course I can't find in the index now because of the way the index is written. Thank you, Eagle TSI. Page 48. Not 48. Page 46. Pouring rain. The heavens have opened, and the sudden downpour has left the players soaked and the ball rather slippery. Whenever a player attempts to pick up or catch the ball or intercept a pass action, they suffer a -1 modifier to the roll. All right. Let me go back to... secure the ball. All right, I would say that does apply. When performing a secure the ball action, the player must attempt to pick up the ball. So I would argue that the modifier does apply. So yeah, if it's raining, I would agree. I think I would say it's a 3+. Moving the threatening passers laterally over to the right side here of the pitch. Now the ball carrier marked by Dolomite. Still a 2+ dodge away. Two-die blitz instead will be a pal. That's good enough. Another armor break on dwarves. Wow, well done. Gets a stun out of this. So that dwarf may be in danger of being out of the drive. They just don't have the speed to catch up. BBNet says, I love the Bretts. Don't think they're a good team, but they are fun. I haven't tried them yet. Yeah, whenever a player attempts to pick up or catch the ball or intercept a pass action, they suffer a -1 modifier. And then secure the ball. Says when performing a secure the ball action, the player must attempt to pick up the ball. So I would argue that means it's a -1. I mean, I guess there could be an argument. I don't think it's a particularly compelling argument, but under your move actions, they mentioned picking up the ball, and that's an agility roll, but that's under move actions, you know? Which is not the secure the ball action. BBNet says, my Bretts are painted in Cornish colors with real Cornish heraldry, so I'm biased. Best team ever. Oh, there it is! Telestrator of Doom never fails! Hey! We've got the murder! It's a Christmas miracle! 12 seconds left on the clock here in turn 12 for the Rockettes. They've marked the downfield passers, so now they're spread out. And now the Elves have an opportunity here. Unfortunately, the ball carrier marked. Still 2+ dodge away, but only 1 reroll remaining. Remember, this catcher has nerves of steel, so could catch this ball while marked and gets no negative modifiers there for being marked. So it would still be a 2+ to catch. BBNet says, now tell me how animal savagery works. All right. Eagle TSI says, although secure the ball does say you move also. Yes, but it is under its own heading as a separate action, would be my argument. Animal savagery. Let's see. 123. Animal savagery. Whenever this player is activated, after declaring their action, they must roll a d6. They may apply a +2 modifier to the roll if they have declared a block action or a blitz action. On a 4+, the player may perform the declared action as normal. On a 1 through 3, this player lashes out at one of their teammates. Choose one standing teammate adjacent to this player. The chosen player is immediately knocked down. This will not cause a turnover unless the player was holding the ball. If the player has either the claws or mighty blow skill, then they must use them when making an armor roll for the knockdown player. If this player rolls 1 and 3 and there are no standing teammates adjacent to them, then they are distracted. I assume distracted is lose their tackle zones. So far, I don't see how animal savagery is any different. BBNet says, so I roll a 1, punch my friend, do I get to carry on the action? Yeah, why wouldn't you? Read the hit a teammate part again. Where does it say you get to continue? All right. On a 1 through 3, this player lashes out at one of their teammates. Choose one standing teammate adjacent to this player. The chosen player is immediately knocked down. This will not cause a turnover unless the player was holding the ball. If this player has either the claws or mighty blow skill, then they must use them when they are making an armor roll for a knockdown player. Why does it need to say that you get to continue? Isn't it just a given that you activated that player? It's not a turnover, so you're still in your activation, right? That's how I would interpret that. Good dodge to a pass to Asiago downfield to the opposing 8. Let me see what distracted. While I'm in here, let's see what distracted says. God, I really hate this index. I don't even know where to find distracted. It's not under the D's. BBNet says, I'll be honest, I think they meant for it to not allow you to carry on your action. I think they meant it to carry on your action, but you're right. Being explicit never hurts. Where is the rules? Where are the rules for distraction? I don't even know where to look it up. Under skills in alphabetical order. Why would it be under skills? BBNet says the word is there's no game workshop FAQ until the end of May. Yeah, I saw animal savagery, but I'm looking for distracted. I don't know where to find the rules for what distracted means. Which I am right now. Another injured elf here for the Dwarven team. Trying to hang on to their lead after punching the ball out of the hands of the elves. Ball laying on the ground on the 6-yard line right now. On the Dwarven 6-yard line, that is. Page 39 for distracted. Thank you very much, Moo. Distracted. During the course of the game, there may be situations where a standing player becomes distracted. This could be due to the skill or trait of the player or an opposition player, a special rule, or all manner of other in-game effects. The player that is distracted does not have a tackle zone and should have a distracted token placed next to them as a reminder for both coaches. Malik with the sub. Thank you very much, Malik. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you very, very much. Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Now I think BB Nut's right. So under distracted, it says, if a player becomes distracted... Oh, no. I disagree. I still think I'm right. If a player becomes distracted during their activation, then their activation immediately ends. When a player becomes distracted, they will remain distracted until the next activation. So that works like normal. So you become distracted only if you don't beat up your player. So I still contend that the activation doesn't end, so you're still in the middle of your activation, which means you can do whatever you can do on an activation, unless, of course, you're distracted, which means you didn't beat up on your teammate, and then your activation ends. Yeah, I think you get to continue taking your turn. Oh, I see, BB Nut. I think it's good that they concatenated that into a single description. How many times did I draw on this screen? It's another dead elf. Oh, it's another dead elf, and that's a dead catcher too. Oh, R.I.P. guy. Oh, R.I.P. It does specifically say you can continue, but it also says in the next paragraph that your activation does not end. I would still contend, I mean, you know, I can certainly see your point, but I still contend rules as written, you get to continue. I think there is an implication that your activation is not over means that you can do whatever is legal during an activation, meaning your activation's not over, so you can continue. Alex says, if you don't continue, why ever park a guy next to someone with animal savagery? To make it a 2+ instead of a 4+. That poor elf's leg cut it off. No, it mentioned activate. Unless I just made that up, I'll look again. You're right. It said it's not a turnover. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I still contend that the implication is that your activation does not end. There was a rule. We played a game. Tried the 3+ handoff attempt, but it didn't work out here. there was a game we played called Giga Robo that had a card that made no sense. So this is a game where like you can attack your opponent with it's a board game, but you have cards that are your actions. So you can attack with a card, then your opponent can react to your attack. And then there was a card that allowed you to react to a reaction attack, or it's actually called a response to a reactive attack. And this made no sense. And so we ruled that it had to have been a misprint because it just made no sense in the wider rule set. And then I saw the creators at PAX, and I asked them about it, and one of the guys was like, "Oh no, yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah, it's meant for big plays. You react to a reaction." I'm like, okay. And then the designer of the game responded to my question on BGG and was like, "Nope, this is a misprint. it should not say this. It should be the way you originally interpreted it." I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot more sense." And he suggested the guy at PAX thought I was talking about a different card. But yeah, as the card was written, it allowed you to do this really funky stuff, which just didn't make a lot of sense. Good recovery here by Firelight to all but stop this score here. I don't know what the Pro Elves are going to do at this point. Moob says, implication, sure, I agree. Implication is not permission. Like I said, I see where you're coming from, but I personally, my philosophy on rules is that intent does matter. Like, you cannot extract intent from the rules as written. The intent is there, and it has to be considered. Now, if there's an argument over what the intent is, that's fine. But if it's clear what intent is, I think my philosophy on this is you have to read the rules in the context of that intent. Oh God, what did I do? Okay, I don't know what happened there. The problem with not considering intent is that now you have to write things in such legalese that any gap in the rules that you didn't intend now become fair game, and you're basically, there is no reasonable way to write a rule set like that that actually fits your design goals, that fits your intent. It's kind of like a computer program, right? Like a computer program is just a set of rules. You will never, ever write a computer program of any meaningful complexity that will be bug-free. It will have flaws, and those flaws are clearly unintended, and so should not be occurring. Turn 16 as the Rockettes move the ball across the line of scrimmage. There's nothing that the Pro Elf team will be able to do here. They had a good shot here. Did threaten the pass that split apart the defense. And they did a good job of it, but just weren't able to get rid of that ball fast enough to where they could get it in the hands of someone pretty reliably and try to get on the board here. And consequently, this will end 1-0 in favor of the Rockettes. Well done by Real Human. C says, unless you were the ones who designed it, then without clearly written rules, who do you say what the intent was? That's also a fair argument. Like, well, it's a fair argument so long as the intent is actually ambiguous. But if the intent is clear, right? Like let's say the intent of a game is to be a game of dogfighting, a game of positioning, and you interpret a vague rule in such a way that positioning no longer matters, then I would argue that's a disingenuous take on the rules, right? Like, because you are ignoring that it's very clear that this was meant to be a certain type of game. I disagree with that. The intent is only clear with well-written rules. Well, no, I agree with you that intent is clear with well-written rules, but I don't think rules have to account for every language gap, especially because languages are different, right? Boy, I've tried 3 times now to get the get the standings to show up, and they just all right, there we are. All right, Grimdark Orchard picks up, not Grimdark Archer, the Rockettes pick up their second win of this competition. Congratulations to Real Human on the win there. There is another game. I think I'm not going to air it. Oh, the prediction. Thank you, Cease. We're running close to 8:30, so I think we're going to call it here. Let me close out the prediction. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, I think all the interpretations of the rules are fair. Like they're certainly fair arguments. All the arguments that have been made are completely reasonable, and I don't think it's unfair to hold one of those opinions. But whatever. Like when this gets implemented in BB3. It'll be very clear. It's going to do one thing or the other. So I guess we'll see in a few months. But yeah, that'll do it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Let's take a look at the schedule before we leave. I've got my game to play tonight too. Oh, I'm going to get murdered. I'm going to get murdered. All right, coming up next, we have not a doubleheader. The Believe Broncos game is going to get rescheduled for a later date. But this Thursday, December 18th at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's UTC -5, we have the Discomancers versus Dead and Loving It. That'll be Ian versus S. Beaver, Necro versus Vampires. And then after that, one more game left to be scheduled. Well, actually, 2 more games, including the Believe Broncos game, left to be scheduled here in week 6 of 9. And when those games get scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB. Here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. Oh, I'll drop a link to the Discord as well. There you go. There's a link to Discord in the chat. We have dedicated channels for the schedule and for standings there. The schedule in Discord will be in your local time zone, wherever you are, so you don't have to do any time calculations. Man, play this game. This game's a ton of fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, Xbox, and tabletop forum at your friendly local game store. C says when it gets implemented in PP3, it'll probably do neither. Electric Man says, isn't the second game playing now? It is. I'm deciding to not stream it because we're close to my cutoff time. And if we start it now, I'm just going to be dead silent for half the game. You'll probably find failing animal savagery awards your opponent 2 touchdowns. All right, until this Thursday at 10 o'clock via Mr. Standard Time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.